Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at 4.3e Readiness Practice Proficient version. If you are interested in exploring the intermediate or advanced versions of 4.3e, or for looking for readiness practice resources aligned with any other standard, you can find those by using the link in the video description. So our first problem today for adding and subtracting fractions has us looking at an imaginary cake. So we have a cake that's cut into 10 equal slices. And so let's make it a rectangular cake. That's going to be easiest for tenths. So what I want to do is I want to make a 5 by 2. So I'm going to just cut this into 5 slices here. And then I'm going to make each of those fifths in half. Now I've got tenths. All right, so you eat 4 slices. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that is 4 tenths. Then later you eat 2 more slices. So let's just make 1 and then 2. So I've got a 4 tenths and I've got a 2 tenths. What fraction of the cake did you eat in total? All right, so if I add those two together, 4 tenths and 2 tenths is, we can count here, it's going to be 6 tenths. So that's my model. That is my equation. Let me make a number line as well. So we can draw a number line like here. I'm going to make that 0 and 1. So what I want to do is I want to make tenths. Now, tenths are kind of difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this half right here. And I'm going to just chop each half into fifths. And I'm going to try my hardest to make them evenly spaced. So that's going to be 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10. My 1/2 is also 5/10 because 5 is half of 10. 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, and then my 1/2 is 10/10. So if I'm going to start with 4 slices, I'm going to go from 0 to my 4/10. Then 2 more slices. It's going to get me up to 6/10, and so that's going to get me my 6/10 right there. Now, if you want, you should notice that your 6/10 can't be simplified, right? So if we were to look at it in sets of 2, right, we can have 1, 2, 3 sets of 2. So we could also simplify that into 3, and then there's 5 total sets of 2, 3/5. So either of those work, and that's going to be our model, our number line, and our equation. So next we have got a fruit salad, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. We need to find the fraction of the fruit salad that is either blueberries or blackberries. Well, fraction means I need fractions of all of these. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blueberries. I've got 4 raspberries, and I've got 3 blackberries. But I don't have a denominator. So let's see how many total fruits we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, so if I've got 3/15, 5/15, 4/15, and 3/15, you add those up, you get that whole 15/15. Now I'm looking specifically for my blueberries or blackberries. So blueberries or blackberries. Let's change our colors there. So let's make this, my blueberries is going to be 5/15. What we should be noticing is if we're adding fractions, we can only add fractions if the denominators are equal. So sometimes you'll have to add fractions and they have unequal denominators. You have to end up changing into equivalent fractions to find equal denominators before you can do that. So if I have 5/15 and 3/15, that is going to make a total of 8/15. Because 8 out of these 15 parts are either blueberry or blackberry. And when you have that or, that means you're going to add those two together. For our third problem, we've got Michael. He's got a board that is 1 yard long. And then he's going to cut some pieces off. So I'm going to just draw my board like I would a strip diagram there. And then that's going to help me as a sentence and as an equation. All right. So let's visualize it first. He cuts off a piece that is 2/6 of a yard long. All right, so I'm just going to kind of guesstimate what I think this is. So 2/6 of a yard for my base. And then he cuts off another piece that is 3/6 of a yard for a stand. So I think we're getting pretty close to the end here. So this is 3/6 for my stand. And then the rest of the board is not needed. Okay, so I'm going to say not needed, whatever this happens to be. How much of the board did he not need? Okay, so this is my unknown right there. Well, what do I have to work with? Well, the whole thing is 1 yard, okay? And then I've got my 2/6, and I can add that with my 3/6 since I've got my equal denominators to figure out how much was actually used. So that's 5/6, okay? So all of this is going to be 5/6. So if I have 5/6 and out of the whole yard, I can rethink of my one whole as my 6/6. Well, we can see there that there's only 1/6 left, and that's going to be this unknown because 2/6 plus 3/6 plus 1/6 gets me back up to my 6/6, which is 1 yard, 1 whole. So we need to write that as a sentence. All right, so let's practice just writing. So we'll say he has 1/6 yard remaining. All right, so we need to make sure we have our unit there, the yard. And we need an equation. So how can we do that as an equation? Well, we can say, let's say that this question mark, let's make that red. Question mark is what I don't have, right? That's my whole. I'm going to rewrite that as 6/6, and then the 2 parts he cut off, minus the 2/6 for the base, minus 3/6 for the stand. Now you might have added the 2/6 and the 3/6 first, and then subtracted the 2. That could work as well, but you can also subtract twice. Then we also need to display our answer with a number line. So let's draw a number line here. So it's going to look kind of like our strip diagram. So I'm going to have 0, and I'm going to have my 1 whole, which is my 6/6, and I'm going to start chopping stuff off. I'm going to chop off my 2/6, right? And I'm going to kind of go back this way here, 2/6, and then I'm going to have my 3/6 right there. And then that's going to leave me with my unknown, which is my 1/6. Now, you could have done it from the 0. You also could have done it from that 6/6. Since I already knew how far back it went, that works as well. So your answers or your representations may vary because there are a few different ways to write this equation and the sentence and the number line. But for the most part, this should help you along your way. So if you are interested in exploring the Readiness Practice Resources 4.3e for either the intermediate or advanced versions, or for looking at the Readiness Practice Resources line with any other standard, you can find those by using the link in the video description.